Okay, the podcast, Te Pāti Māori, it's in freefall, isn't it? This is not because of colonisation. This is self-inflicted chaos. So let's go.
Are we paying these people to front up, or are we paying them to fly to Wellington to eat their lunch? Should you really lose your career for refusing to take part in a 90-minute lesson about Māori culture? This government doesn't actually have any idea how to get economic growth. Show us what you made of, Prime Minister.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief, proudly sponsored by the Brothers Green. Unlock the innate power of New Zealand botanicals to support your mobility. Try the Brothers Green New Zealand Move Joint Support Tonic and join over 20,000 other Kiwis experiencing easier movement. For as little as $1 a day, you too can experience the power of New Zealand hemp seed oil for your joint health. Head to brothersgreen.co and use code DG20 at the checkout for 20% off your first order. It's a good one. Always read the label. Take as directed. Supplementary, of course, to a balanced diet. The Brothers Green, Christchurch. Okay, g'day, good evening. Welcome to Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief. Great to have your company. Nice to have you along. Thanks so much for joining us, and please subscribe. And also, if you send the word Duncan to 3598 for $7.99 a month, you can subscribe and you'll get bonus content. It's all there. So please help us. Okay, let's stop sugarcoating this. Te Pāti Māori is in freefall. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up. If the polls show that the centre-left has the coalition numbers and is a coalition in waiting, then surely, because of the thug life approach of Te Pāti Māori, they're now waiting for a very, very long time. Surely this counts them out. This is the haters and wreckers on steroids. If Chris Luxon can't get past this motley crew and prosecute them and fly back into office, then he really is that bad. And if the polls don't show that shortly, then surely he has to hand this over to Erica Stanford and Chris Bishop. For the sake of the country, do us all a favour. Tonight, my take on all this and what must now happen. Okay, so let's go.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, Eru Kapa-Kingi is one angry, angry little man that should now immediately be banned from Parliament and all other public buildings around the country. No debate, no ifs, no buts, no maybes. Thugs that threaten to smack parliamentary security guards have absolutely no place being there at all. He's not a leader's backside. He's a right tosser of the highest order, and police should slap him with a ban that extends right across the public service, and it means he can't come near that place or any other place. That's the problem that these Te Pāti Māori idiots believe. They're better than others. They believe they're better than everybody else. And they believe they have more rights to be here. So they're encouraged to throw themselves around in this manner. Sorry, we don't accept that. We don't want that. We don't accept it. And we say that you're the people that need to reform. Pull yourselves together, look in the mirror and grow up. Mess with the majority like this, and at some stage, the silent majority will rise up and react and will call you out. And they're starting to. Make no mistakes, folks. This is not our fault. This is their fault. The party that preaches mana and tikanga, accountability and respect is now tearing itself apart in a public brawl that makes Parliament look like a kindergarten playground. The latest saga, the alleged abuse of a parliamentary security guard by none other than Eru Kapa-Kingi, son of Te Pāti Māori MP Mariameno Kapa-Kingi, who herself has now been demoted in the party. It's not a minor spat, it's ugly, it's racially charged, and it stinks of hypocrisy. This is chaos with a capital C. According to parliamentary documents and multiple media reports, Eru Kapa-Kingi tailgated his way through Parliament's security gates, was stopped by a guard, and then he allegedly unleashed a vile, threatening tirade. We're taking full-blown verbal violence. That's what he said. White, bald-head, C-U-N-T. I'll knock you the F out, you C-U-N-T. That's not political passion, that's thuggery. The staff are reportedly feared for his safety. Think about that. A taxpayer-funded employee at the heart of our democracy, abused and threatened because of someone so arrogant. They thought that the rules didn't apply to them. This bloke was trespassed, his contract terminated. End of story, right? Wrong? No. Because apparently he was rehired under a different company name, like some kind of dodgy contractor who just walks back into the side door. And then, as if the circus wasn't loud enough, the party turns on Edu's own mother, Mariameno Kapa-Kingi, accusing her of blowing $133,000 in office expenses, missing hui, and letting her son drain her budget. She's stripped of her whip roll, the public humiliation, rolled out like a Netflix episode, really. If you pitch this to a producer, they'd say, it's too unbelievable. But this is the truth. This is a party that shouts about accountability and respect and decolonising the system and Māori values, yet here we are, with one of their own accused of racist abuse, another demoted for overspending, and both hung out to dry by their own team. Te Pāti Māori leaders have built their brand on being different, righteous, moral, uncompromising, but right now they're acting like any other busted political outfit. When power goes to their heads, messy, arrogant and ruthless. You can't stand in Parliament demanding others live by tikanga while your own people allegedly threaten staff and dodge accountability. That's not mana, that's madness. Te Pāti Māori's meltdown isn't just an internal issue, it's now a credibility crisis that reaches straight into every Māori seat in the country. Voters wanted fighters, not infighters. They wanted authenticity, not another soap opera. This behaviour gives every critic of the party ammunition big time. National and ACTA already salivating. Labor, supposedly their ally, will be quietly panicking, and so they should, because how do you form a government with a partner that can't keep its own people in line? The Māori electorates are watching, and make no mistake, some will be embarrassed. Te Pāti Māori was supposed to bring dignity and purpose to Māori politics. Instead, it's started to look like a family feud on a marae, gone horribly wrong. So here's my message to Eru Kapa-Kingi. If these allegations are false, say so. Front up and say so. If they're true, own it. Apologise and then bugger off and disappear for a while. Because right now, the silence screams, you're guilty. And every day he stays quiet, the damage multiplies. His mother's career is already collateral damage. And let's be blunt, if you've been trespassed from Parliament for abusing staff, you've forfeited the right to talk about protecting Māori spaces inside of it, the building, haven't you? You're part of the problem, pal, not the solution. And to the co-leaders, Arawari Waititi and Debbie Ngāti Wapaka, who have encouraged this sort of behaviour, you're running a movement that risks imploding under your own hands and feet. This latest episode shows zero discipline, zero internal control, and zero understanding of optics. You can't preach unity while leaking emails and shredding reputations. You can't claim to uplift Māori while intimidating the very institutions that allow Māori to have a voice. It's madness. At some point, leadership means doing the hard thing, calling out your own, cleaning house, and rebuilding trust. Māori politics deserves much better. And frankly, so do Māori voters, who keep getting shortchanged by ego-driven politicians masquerading as freedom fighters, cultural masqueraders. If Te Pāti Māori doesn't sort itself out really fast, they'll go down not as the party that stood up for Māori, but as the one that self-destructed under the weight of its own contradictions. And that's not colonisation, that's self-sabotage. So true. It's self-sabotage. They've done it to themselves.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
We've all been there, right? Come home from a long day at work, sit down and then get the inevitable what's for dinner. Being too tired to cook or even drive to the shop, Uber One is your answer. Joining Uber One gives you $0 delivery fee on eligible orders, 5% Uber credit on all rides, and exclusive offers through Uber, Uber Eats, and their partners. And if you sign up before the end of the year, you'll also get $10 off Uber cashback. Wow, that's pretty good, isn't it? Join Uber One today and start reaping the benefits. It ends December 31st. T's and C's, a minimum spend and fees apply.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, before we go, former Prime Minister Jim Bolger has died aged 90. A couple of thoughts about that. I was 22, just arriving in Parliament as a young journalist, and he was having his 60th birthday in the Beehive. And I got a phone call from his staff, and I was invited to it. I'd been in Parliament six weeks. And so I went up to his office. This was under MMP, the first coalition with Winston Peters. And I walked into a room. I had no right and no place to be there, but he'd invited me anyway. And there was Winston Peters, Jim Bolger, Ian Templeton, John Armstrong, David Barber, Barry Soper, and myself. I was 22 years of age. The person next to my age was probably 45. And I got tanked. They made me drink all this whiskey. I wasn't really a whiskey drinker at 22. I drank all this whiskey. Then ended up, Bolger hopped in his Crown car that night. He dropped me in Courtney Place, where I went to a bar. It was hosing down with rain. I'll never forget this. I ended up running out of the bar to grab a taxi at the end of the night, and I went straight into a pond. It looked like they were steps, but it was a pond. Into the drink I went. My only suit got soaked, obviously. Went home, tried to dry it on a heater, and I had to get up the next day really early to head out to Upper Hutt, to where Bolger was making an announcement on some working training thing. So I put the suit back on half damp. It'd gone all bulby and it's terrible. It's terrible. And I got out to this press conference where Bolger was on the shop floor of this factory, and he looked at me and he said, "You got to harden up. You got to toughen up." And he had gone all night drinking, and he turned up the next day looking dapper, and right down the barrel looked at me and basically called me a soft cock. And I was 22. I couldn't handle the whiskey that night. That was a great Bolger story. It was a different time, different era. This was a guy that was underrated, in my view. He was an underrated politician. This was an era where there was no TikTok and Instagram and everyone, showing pictures of each other. This was an era where you got away with murder. He would fly Spud 1, the plane around the country during the election campaign. We were on it. No toilet, but just chili bins. We'd sit on these chili bins and we'd alcohol was everywhere in Parliament in those days. It's probably why he got dumped, because Shipley wanted to end the boys' club. She pretty much did. Anyway, we'd get to Invercargill after a 4-hour flight or something from somewhere in the North Island. All the senior journos and me. You'd be tanked. You'd get to the... Joan Bolger looked the other way. She was just so lovely. It was a different era, and I just want to say full respect to the family and, of course, to Jim Bolger himself. Never took the title of Sir because he was a Republican. He wanted New Zealand to be a republic. Famous for using accents of the foreign country he was in. So that's a bit overstated. But I think maybe it was part of his Irish background. Maybe it was a bit of a joke. But then, full respect to the family. I just wanted to give my sympathies and to give him a mention today. That is us, folks. Thank you for all your feedback. You can get hold of us, of course, Duncan@rover.nz. Always, we're available. And also to my producers, Lockie, thank you, sir. And Brody, the man, thank you, mate. I really appreciate all you do for the podcast and get it to air. You can subscribe, of course, and if you text the name Duncan to 3598, I'll send you a link, and you can pay the $7.99 a month, and you'll get bonus content. It all comes out tomorrow, Friday. And we do Ask Me Anything sessions. You can ask me anything. Nothing's off limits. So that's all there tomorrow. If you text the word Duncan to 3598, we'll get you that link. And if you can subscribe, please do. The reason why we're asking this is because we need to stay around, cover costs, stay around, and take on the traditional media who do not say what we're saying and do not cover your views. That's why we're doing it, and we really appreciate it. If you can jump on board, Team Duncan, really appreciate it. We'll get some gear soon. We'll get some merch. Going as well. That's us, folks. Remember, life's no dress rehearsal, no curtain raiser. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy it. Take care, folks. Ta-da. All the best.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief, sponsored by the Brothers Green. Feed your gut what it needs. Digest Gut Health Protein Powder. I use it myself. It supports natural digestion and gut health. Made with premium Canterbury-grown hemp powder and a unique blend of active kiwifruit enzyme powder and kiwifruit skin extract, offering natural prebiotics and a nutrient-rich profile to complement a balanced lifestyle. Always read the label. Take as directed. Supplementary, of course, to a balanced diet. The Brothers Green, Christchurch.